On this episode of Thursday Night Therapy, we dive into the Married at First Sight show disaster couple Ikechi and EmEm, and if traditional roles still work with modern women. Let's take a sneak peek on how it went down. Let's check it out.
Will you move back in with me?
But I gotta like you to want to move in with you.
What is it that you don't like?
Her attitude, personality.
Tell me more.
How many times has she kind of made me feel small, like I don't have enough, or I don't
Tell me
do enough?
more. I need to know more about that.
Just how she acts. I don't feel like I'm a partner. I just feel like I'm an extra in the dream that is hers.
Woo! All right, let's get to the show. This is my father, Big Chuck. He taught me the pimp mentality from the crib, so I was never faithful in any relationship. Until one day, 6 years ago, I looked at all the broken hearts and pain that I caused and decided it was time to level up. So now I'm a happily married man who still doesn't stand for the trick mentality that is destroying our community.
I'm Champagne, a single woman on a journey to build a life rooted in self-love, balance, and authenticity. I'm exploring the ups and downs of personal growth, embracing independence, and creating space for joy, peace, and purpose. Whether you're on a similar path or just curious about the ride, this is your space to feel seen, inspired, and empowered.
I'm Dante. I'm the realest of the group. I'm once married and now divorced and dating as a single father. Here to bring a grounded perspective, pushing past all the fluff and getting to the heart of what really matters.
Wow! Welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming to Thursday Night Therapy. Things you talk to your therapist about. This is the show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downward awkward conversations we all have, or maybe should have, in therapy. Tonight's topic, do traditional roles still exist? Let's go, guys. Let's kick it to you, Dante. We're going to go to current events. I'm sorry.
No problem at all. I've been doing good. How you been doing this week, Champagne?
I am here, right? And that's half the battle.
My man Chuck gonna kick us off today.
What's up, everybody? All right. Yes, sir. We're going to go ahead and we're going to kick it off, first of all, about this current event, that's been going crazy. You got on Married First Sight, you have two. I'm going to go ahead and key up this this picture so you guys can actually see who I'm talking about here. Where we at? Okay, here we go. All right. We got EmEm and we got Ikechi. Okay. Now let me just explain this. This is the Married at First Sight. This is season 18. What Married at First Sight is, it's actually a social experiment which they launched to help people get married the old school traditional way, in which people used to actually have arranged marriages by the families. But instead of using arranged marriages, they use a computer algorithm to actually sum up the two people and match them together based on what their common goals are and what they actually are. So on paper, they match up people perfectly. You know what I'm saying? But the system is very flawed because there's no exact science to human behavior. The computer algorithm cannot actually determine the little things, the chemistry, and sometimes the little things that people want. People can lie to the computer, and people can also, little things matter, man. Like people may not be attracted to that person or whatever the case may be. But the good thing about this is, just like I remember in the 8th grade, I had a teacher and he started everybody in the class with an A. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And very few people kept the A by the end of the school year. You know what I'm saying? And because we just messed up. That's just what it was. Like people you got a fresh start with a fresh person that says you want, but a lot of people really, when they get it, they don't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and in this situation, and I'm just break it down for you. Ikechi and EmEm, Ikechi is the guy, EmEm is the female, and they're both descendants of the same like African tribe or whatever the case may be, and they have similar goals. So you would think that they would match up, but the problem came in where EmEm actually makes more money than he does, right? So he immediately was felt insecure about that. because he always mentioned that. Like when she brought him to the crib, he was like, "Oh man, this is a nice girl. This is bigger than my house," And he was just like, I mean, he was really highly like felt threatened by her. So on their honeymoon, she was attracted to him, and she tried to, she was trying to get some affection from him, and he was highly like he rejected her, and he was acting like almost as though it was like sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? So he was really taken back by that. You know what I mean? And you know what? I don't know what type of punctified dudes they got, but man, they making brothers look so bad, especially. Oh my God. I've never seen this type of behavior before with brothers. Like, I mean, like I said, of course, if you're attracted to somebody, you're going to want to have affection from them. But like I said, the way he reacts to it, I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Like, I've never seen this, man, for real. And now he wants a divorce and everything. He's saying she's too aggressive. I mean, this is crazy. And of course, she's not a typical, stay-at-home mom with, traditional roles where she cleaned up the crib and everything. She has her own company. And I mean, he feels real threatened by that. So he feels as though his manhood is taken, in which, like I said, that's what I showed in the actual intro video. And so, I want to ask everybody, I mean, let's go to this topic. I mean, our traditional roles with modern women who got things going, I mean, are they really do they have a place in today's relationships? Because we have to have a power sharing situation a lot of times because, women are smart. You know what I'm saying? And if they're making just as much or more money than you are, then a lot of times their respect level goes based on what your income level is. And man, this is just a touchy subject, man. So let's go ahead and set it off. So how you feel about it, Champagne?
Did you feel like she was being disrespectful to him?
Personally, no, she wasn't being disrespectful. Like I said, okay. I mean, listen, for me, I channel that type of energy. If you really affectionate towards me, we can do something with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a problem if she don't have any sexual attraction to you. You know what I'm saying? Then that's where the problem comes in. But see, she's attracted to you. What's wrong with you, man?
I mean, I think I think there are women out there who, when they make more, they do feel like I'm that deal and they treat you like shit. Absolutely. Do I think that's the norm? I don't think so. Because a lot of women already know, okay, we're probably going to make more than the guy that we're dating. And they usually try to really share and, hey, bring you into it. A good point. I was watching Love is Blind and we talked about that. And there was a lady who, she made money. Her ex-husband got divorced. She had a couple businesses. They had property together. So she's telling the old dude, like, yeah, this is going to be ours. Like, she's trying to share with them. And you know what he does? Fuck her over. He fucks her over. So I don't know that that's the norm. But do I think modern roles exist? Nah. I think we've evolved. I think there was a point in time where those roles were really beneficial based on the laws and the rules at that time. And that's like most things. Like if you look in the Bible, there were certain things that you do during biblical times. Hey, no one's washing my feet when they meet me or washing anyone's feet when they come into your house. Like no one's doing that. They had a place. So I don't think they are really as important today as they were previously. What about you, Dante? What you got?
Well, I was watching the show, doing my research. And,
good job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, he never said that he felt intimidated. He never said that he felt threatened or intimidated or any of those things. However, it very much seemed that way because literally everything was cool at the wedding, the honeymoon. For those who don't know how the show sets up, literally the first episode is the wedding. They meet the day of. They get married the same day that they meet. And then essentially from there, you go on to a honeymoon off-site, and then you come back and you work on moving in and stuff like that. After getting married, honeymoon seemed great. Wedding was beautiful. Once they got back and it was time to move in, it was interesting because when they went to see his apartment, he made sure to point out in advance that it was meager and it wasn't much. And then the moment they walked into her apartment, and she prefaced it by saying a lot of men are intimidated by her space. The moment that he walked in, I did not like his attitude. I didn't like his mindset. Everything was like, oh, this is bigger than my whole apartment. This is the same size as my master bedroom. And it was like, shut the fuck up. Like, I would have walked in there like, yes,
Right?
that's what I'm talking about. This mine? I mean, ours? Like, okay. This orange juice in the refrigerator, this me? Okay, cool. Like, I would have been on some shit like that. But, like, he really did come off as slightly intimidated. Now, with that said, MM, related to the show specifically, I didn't feel like the young lady in any way emasculated this man. I didn't feel like she took from him. I really felt like she was trying. It was one of those things, kind of like the Love Doctor said. I don't know, what trees some of these guys are growing off of, but for lack of a better term, like after the first couple of weeks, he like kind of turned into like a bitch. I don't know what happened. What it was.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, for real, all right? Then fam like turned into like a bitch low key.
Like, what do you mean he turned
Yes,
into a
he
bitch?
did.
Now I'm involved now. What happened?
Yes, he did.
Sis, you gotta watch.
Oh, I mean, hey. Yeah. He just completely like everything she did. I mean, he was just like, he was like real tense and everything. And like, he didn't want her to get close to him. Like, it just felt like, it felt like it was like he was a female. He was just scared of her. That's what it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen this type of thing happen. And I was just like, man, you was a bitch ass nigga, man. Straight up.
She was making a lot of the advances, like sexually. She was making a lot of the advances. So they hadn't had sex. So I mean, I think it had been a month. I think they had been together. I think it had been a whole month, and they still hadn't had sex. So y'all got married, went on a honeymoon, all of this stuff. They haven't been physically intimate, and it's the man in this instance who is saying, "I'd rather not. I'd like to get to know you better. I'd rather not murky the waters. Rather not murk the waters with the sex, and like hold off until we know each other and know that this is real." That's kind of his approach, and she's kind of like, dude, come up off that thing, and I can't blame her.
But that gives me a good question. Like, and you guys are talking from a male perspective, but are you guys, do you feel emasculated, or do you feel less of a man, or does it turn you off when you meet a woman who has a substantial more than what you have? Who's making more? Yeah.
Let me take this one. Listen, this is the thing. When you have a woman that is making a significant amount of money, maybe even more than you, it just depends on how she handles it. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, that is an asset. If somebody else they putting food on the table just like you are, and you guys are on the same page, you can live off of this. You can build with this. But what happens is that the female also has an ego as well. And a lot of times females don't want to share their worth. Like, they'll share their bodies, but they don't want to share that checking account. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to share that, they don't want to be transparent on the funds. That's why I told you, even in my first marriage, I was completely transparent when it came to finances. You know what I'm saying? But she was not. But I let her get that off because her money didn't matter to me, because I was paying for everything. I was paying for a whole set of bills at the crib and at the shop. So her money was insignificant, but I shouldn't have let her get that shit off though. Because listen, if you come into a situation, it's all food on the table, dog. Don't be stashing for it. Like if you got to make an exit. No, we in this together. So we're going to struggle together, or we're going to eat together. But yeah, if she makes money, man, please, that's an asset, depending on how she handles her money. And if she actually treats you with respect.
Let me hold a couple dollars, Chuck.
Right. So most of the women that you guys encounter who made more than y'all were kind of like lording it over you. Like, that's your average experience.
Hold on, let me get in on this for a second. That was the Love Doctor's perspective. That's cool and all. I'm gonna keep it G. It really depends on the man, and it does depend on the woman. Because to the Love Doctor's point, some women will let it go to their head. I don't think that that's the large majority, but some women will let it go to their head. Essentially, you can't tell me what to do, or we're not doing things your way because I pay the majority or the lion's share. But I don't think that that's the majority. The large majority of women know how to act, and they try to still give men that man spot, man seat, man role, even though they're making the money. I personally am not intimidated in any way, as long as you don't treat me crazy, talk to me crazy. I view it as an asset. We have more money to do stuff with, because when I made the majority of the money, that's how it was viewed. So yeah, let's spend that shit. What's up, sis? I'm not tripping.
As a person who's always made more than the guys that I dated, I
Bum ass niggas.
I made sure that I went out my way to make, because that was something that I would hear random guys say, like, oh, women, they think they're blah, 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 whatever type of misogynist type of situation that was there. And I went out my way to make sure, like, you're driving my car, so instead of me saying my car, I was using terminology like the car, because I mean, it's not yours. I'm not gonna say your car, it's the
Sweet
car,
girl.
right? If we live in an apartment together, it's not my apartment, it's the apartment. So I became more mindful, like the rhetoric and the terminology that I use, because there are guys who that bothers them. And sometimes you don't even know that it bothers you. You just know things bother them when, you're going out here to get your nails and your hair done, and they're like, oh, well, why are you spending so much money? And you're like, it's mine, because I can spend money. Like, they get with you, and you have a certain way of living, a certain way of upkeep, but because that they have less than what you have, or they can't keep up with that upkeep, they come in with the expectation that you're going to stop doing what you're doing so that you could be on their level. And then, which makes no sense, because that's what everything that I do to myself, that's what brought you here. So now you want me to stop, which is going to create havoc upon myself. And when you stop, taking care of yourself, you start to look ugly, and dudes don't like to talk to you when you look ugly.
Certainly not. Love Dr. Chuck. Could you date a female?
Oh, go ahead.
Could you be with a female who made significantly more than you? Like, just, that's your woman, that's your wife, like, rock out with forever. Could you sit in that seat?
No, listen, absolutely. I've dated women. Listen, I haven't always been up in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, since I've had a record and couldn't work for the white man, I've always had to create my own jobs. And in business, there's always peaks and valleys. You see what I'm saying? So I've been up and down. I remember, but the thing is, with me, I'm always going to hold my nuts and be a man in any situation. So I don't care how much money you make. I'm gonna still be me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna control me. You ain't gonna talk to me any old kind of way. We going, if you don't treat me like a man, then I'm out of here, because my presence alone is valuable. And if you don't respect my presence, then I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Hear that, man?
And like I said, listen, man. Women women have egos, man. Like they think about the bare necessities in life and think that it's big shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they, like when I've been down before, right? Say, I was talking to this one female that I talked to before, and I was restructuring. I was trying to save up to buy some things to do a business, right? So I was a little down, and then she was like, "Oh, you came up there, and you know what I'm saying, and I invited you out, but you let me take the bill." I'm like, "And that ain't nothing. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I took you out about 15 times. It was a one time you take care of. You feel me? And just even just being the breadwinner and paying bills in general, that ain't shit. That's nothing. That's the basic necessities in life. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing to think that you better than somebody because you paying bills at the crib. I done did that shit in 2 different fucking places at the same time. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say we got to get past this petty stuff, you know what I'm saying, and really look deep into if there's a true connection. You know what I'm saying? Because this type of thing, I'm telling you, if you're making less than a woman, in her mind, she's always going to think that she's better than you. You know what I'm saying? That's true. That's why I push back.
That is not true at all. This is
for the most part. Let's say this. The respect level ain't the same. Tell the truth.
No, that is not true at all.
But you're an anomaly then. You're an anomaly.
That is not an anomaly. There's many women. Most women are making more than their guys. There is a lot of
No.
Okay, all right. Most of us black women are making more than our black counterparts.
Is
that more appropriately?
Y'all shut
No.
down then.
Right. That's just the ones that you talk to.
I ain't been with a woman make more money than me.
You make more money now, Dante. You out here balling in the streets, okay?
No, I
but the
mean,
guy
whenever
that you
I was at whatever level, I ain't never talked to no lady make no more money than me.
was that by design, or you've always made more?
Yeah.
Or was it like you intentionally sought out women who made less?
To be honest with you guys, since we are talking about it and we are talking about the roles, like I have the ability to talk to a woman who makes more money than me, who makes significantly. I have the ability. I can do it. That shit don't make me none. My manhood ain't based in how much money I bring in or whatever. I'm a damn good father. I'm gonna protect for you, and I'm always gonna be there. I show up on time. I'm an early type of motherfucker. I keep my word. I base my manness in those type of things. So I could do it. But truthfully speaking, we're talking about roles. We don't match up appropriately. I think that you are instantly putting your relationship in a place where it has a hole in it. You start your relationship with a hole in it. And that hole, as we know, anytime there's a hole or gap in a relationship, people have the ability to poke and prod at it and open it up into more. You date a woman who makes more than you, there's an instant hierarchy in place. And here's the thing. The way the hierarchy is supposed to go is that man is supposed to fulfill that role of leader. And what happens a lot of the time is that when he attempts to do that with the person who's the breadwinner, there's a clash. You don't make those same decisions when it's not your money. You don't decide if we buy the tickets today or next week when it's not your money. But again, you're trying to sit and fulfill that role. So my thing is like, why are you dating a woman who makes so much more money than you? You need to shoot within your range. I make an X amount of money. I shouldn't be going and hollering at Beyonce and Rihanna. I just shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm cute.
Oh my gosh.
But what am I doing with Beyonce and Rihanna? But look like a fool. Like, no. So I'm going to go down here to the bank.
ASAP's with
I'm going to
Rihanna.
give me one of these tellers, okay? I'm going to get me a chick that work at the hospital. You know what I mean? Like, can I get a registered nurse? And keep it, you know what I mean? But I personally like you start off at a deficit, and I wouldn't want to start off at a deficit.
It's like a power control thing for you guys. Like if I make more money, I have more opportunity, capability, control what to do with the finances because I make the money because I'm the breadwinner.
Yeah. No, I think. Well, for me, like I said, look, when I was younger, I'm gonna give you an example. Like I used to. When I was working at a community center, like back in the 90s, right? You know, I was dating this police officer. Now I was making like back then, I was probably making about $25,000 a year. And I was getting child support taken. so you know, I have no motherfucking money. but and back then she was making 60, 70,000 back then in the 90s. And I was probably making like 26 minus child support. You feel me? So shit, my shit was probably 15 for real. You know what I mean? After she was taken out, yeah, for real, shit. And you know, she was with a guy before me that actually like she ran all over this guy. Like she was talking about him with so much disrespect and everything. And I was like, look, man, you ain't talking to me like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? We just ain't. It just depends on how you take it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel insecure about it, then it's going to even be worse. But if you are strong in your convictions and you are a man and you have intelligence and you can still lead, which I still did, then you can still have a functional relationship making considerable amount less money. You know, if she respects something else about you other than just money, then it can still work.
Yeah, in that case, then it can still work if she respects something other than that. But I mean, a lot of the times it just makes it difficult to have any type of decision conversations because that person pulls rank. That is the person with the money is the decision maker, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. So it's for me, it's an instant conflict.
Right, but
because
that's why
you want to be able to pull rank.
But listen, this is where men make mistakes at, and I'm gonna just tell you, like in that situation, like okay, so if she makes a considerable amount of money than you, right? The worst thing you can do as a man, do not move in with her into her environment when she already bought everything in the crib. You ain't got shit in there that you contributed to. and it's just her right. Keep
That's
your own
even if
crib.
y'all make $10 a piece. You right. Don't never do that.
I'm just saying, because if y'all get into an argument, they're gonna pull out that motherfucking trump card, dog, and tell your ass to get out. You know what I'm saying? And don't give them that motherfucking trump card. Stay at your own place. So if you gotta bang, you can bang to your own shit, and you can still hold your respect. You know what I'm saying, and not be under her circumstances. So that I'm just saying. Yeah. So for young men, keep your own shit, man. And as long as you got your own shit, you can keep control of your life.
Be a man should have his own shit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, Champagne.
I'm listening.
I was like I said before, I have the ability. I can. I just think that it puts your relationship starting out at a deficit. So I've never dated anyone long term or been in any serious situation with anybody who made more money than me. But there was a time, maybe 2 years ago, trying to talk to some people. And I ran across this girl online, and she was like a mental health counselor, mental health therapist or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she asked me the question of how would I feel if the woman that I was with made more money than me? And I said, I mean, I feel fine. I said, but she would have a decision to make. And she's like, what's that? She has to decide whether or not we're going to live off of my money or our money. But what she's not going to be able to do is choose to live off of my money and then complain. What she's not going to be able to do is want to live off of her money, but then not consider my thoughts and my ways. So for me, it creates an instant imbalance. And it just, given the opportunity to have choice, why would I choose to start off with an imbalance type of thing?
I mean, that's completely fair. Before we keep going, I do want to let you guys know, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time we go live, you're notified of it. And today we're talking about, do traditional roles still have in place in today's relationship? So I don't want to keep talking about money, because money is not the only thing that has a traditional role in relationships. Another thing is the division of housing duties, as well as being a stay-at-home mom. There are stay-at-home dads these days. These are men who they do not work at all, and their wives work. And the first time I saw this, as coming from the community that we come from, there was niggas who stayed at home, but that you call them a bum, because they're not really married to the mom. They're just there. These are the same dudes who be like, oh yeah, I got to babysit my son. Like, you don't babysit your son. You mean watch your son? You mean raise your son? You know how many dudes from the hood be like, oh, I got to babysit my kids. Like that's an instant no. If I hear a man ever say he has to babysit his kids, it's a wrap. But please. The first time I saw this, I was like in my teens, and I don't know, I've done all kinds of crazy things, but it was a couple. The man stayed at home, and the wife, she worked. She was like a really high power exec. She worked in pharmaceuticals, so she was making bank, and he just stayed at home. And for me, my first thought, because I was uncultured and uneducated, I was like, oh, he a bum, he a little bitch. He just stays at home and his wife does everything. But like, when I saw more and more, and I hung out more and more with him, right, he was educated, but he preferred to be at home with the kids. He loved being involved day to day and getting them ready for school and cooking. He liked that. She liked going to work. She liked reaching for the stars and making that big bank. And they're still together. That was like 15, 20 years ago. And it works for them. Is that something that you guys could be, a stay-at-home dad while your woman works?
Well, let me take care of this from my perspective.
Okay.
What we don't understand too, what a lot of people don't, is like, when you get into a relationship, what you do is you combine each other's talents, and you come up with the role as what you are proficient in. Sometimes people, just like myself, I'm an excellent cook, right? So I've never been with a woman that could cook better than me. You know what I'm saying? So I normally do the cooking. You know what I'm saying? And when people bring me in, my mom and them, when we have functions, they always got me cooking. I'd be like, damn, can I just sit here and just enjoy this motherfucker? I got to work every fucking time we get together. You know what I'm saying? But that's an area in which I'm talented in. Sometimes, a woman might be better with the books. A man might be better at doing the cleaning or whatever the case may be. But you got to bring your talents together and find out who's more proficient, And then that's what the roles are going to be based on if it's a functional relationship. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, sometimes like I know a guy that actually stays in Vegas. He's a lawyer, but and his wife is an actual doctor, but he's a stay-at-home dad. He stays at home with his son. You know, they have a son, and he stays at home with his son, and he watches his son and makes sure his son goes to all his appointments. He's a stay-at-home dad, and they have a functional relationship. She respects him, and it works for him. So whatever works for you individually, that's what you have to actually do. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to be a functional relationship. Hold on, we got a message. Okay, here we go. Does the word helpmate still exist? If so, her additional income to be used along with yours to create something together. Elevation. Titles don't work. Roles of provision will, and provision isn't always money. That's right, Thomas. Good statement.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm sorry, Dante, your turn. You want to say something?
All true. When I was married some years back, I actually did stay home. I stayed home for probably about half a year, and essentially, my wife and I switched roles. Where I stayed home, I took care of the kids. I did some of the cleaning, majority of the cooking, stuff like that. So it was a situation where I had lost a job, but I had a lot of money in my 401k, and then I got unemployment, and she was like, you've always been working. Why don't you just stay home, rest, spend some time with the kids, etc. And I said, okay, I'll give that a try. So it looks easy from the onset. I'll just stay home and kick it with the kids. All you gotta do is like clean up 30 minutes before she get home and like make sure there's dinner. So I did it for a while, and I got a newfound respect for the position, for the roles that come with that position. And while it looked easy from my standpoint, having to go out into the world and work every day and fight those battles and be a provider and protector and all these things, it looked so easy to just cook dinner and clean up at the house and just chill, until I had to actually do it. So I did it. I did it successfully. I did a very good job. I was regimented. I had a schedule. Honestly, the house probably ran the best it had ever ran. But I didn't enjoy it. Everything was on time. Everybody was where they needed to be when they needed to be there. Bedtimes, rooms clean, like everything was done. But I didn't enjoy it. I literally like could not wait to go back to work. So I'll throw this in to Love Doctor's point. When you get with somebody, here's the thing, y'all. Everything got to be done. All of it has to be done. Y'all got to eat. Y'all got to pay these bills. You have to get the kids to where they need to go. Like the house has to be good. Everything has to be done. So to the Love Doctor's point, a high functioning relationship is going to lean on the strengths of the individuals in that relationship. Here's the thing. The car is outside. It has a flat tire. We got a sink full of dishes. Do you want to change the tire or do you want to do these dishes?
Depends on who she is.
Well, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Most men would rather do the tire. Most women would rather do the dishes. Let's just do that. I'm good. Go ahead, man.
When you say let's just do like let whoever pick what, or let women stay in the kitchen and men do the car work, is that what you're?
No, everything has.
You're insinuating?
No, everything has to be done. So who's ever best at whatever, do that. Oftentimes,
I agree with that.
Oftentimes we have people arguing to do roles that they don't even want to do. Why you always drive? Do you want to drive? No, you don't even want to drive. Why are we even having? So here's the thing. Everything has to get done. But that's why people who, when you have two breadwinners, two attorneys who are together, they have a maid. They have a nanny. The things still have to get done. Now, we need money. We need the kids taken care of. We need the house taken care of. We need everything has to get done. So, I mean, here's the thing. Let me do the things that I'm good at. I'm going to let you do the things that you're good at. And then in between, hopefully there are very few things that neither of us wants to do. But we're going to have to figure out how to divide that up. Like, you're going to do that and I'm going to do this. I know neither one of us wants to do this, but everything has to get done.
Right. And I think now today, and even though, that's still pretty forward thinking. You have groups like where they talk about, oh, well, the roles that our parents play, women in the kitchen, men outside, those work. And I think what a lot of people forget is that, yeah, we do have a lot of men who may not have been in the home, but there were a lot of men who were in the home. And these men didn't see their daughters as like really fragile type of things. They taught them men's skills. They taught them how to change a tire and how to change oil. And, one of the things that I love to pride myself on is I like putting things together. I see my dad put things together. That's something that I just haven't. I put things together. I taught myself how to wire things. I do I like that type of stuff, and that's what women fought for, to be able to say, hey, I like to do that. I don't want to necessarily be at home in the kitchen. I like to do these type of things. But the things you talked about of just identifying what you're really good at and trading off, boy, I wish more people did that in relationships. And I think that stems from not having that conversation.
Well, yeah, and it's the only way that you're actually going to move or go anywhere. I mean, if, like you said, the example you said with you like to put things together. So and like I said, people fighting for that same role when you didn't even want it. You like to put things together. We won't get anywhere if I also am trying to lead putting things together. So the moment you take charge or control of the putting things together, I automatically become the one reading the instructions. Like the roles have to get done. So it's like somebody's got to. So the moment you take over, you know what? I like putting things together, whatever. Okay, babe. Well, I'll be reading you the instructions, or I'll be handing you the hammer or the tool or whatever the case, because that's the quickest way to get this done. Not both of us saying, nah, you should do it this way. Nah, I would do this side first. Nah, you want to do this side first. Like, no, let's do it her way. I'll assist her and then let's knock it out. Absolutely.
Do you guys feel? Go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry.
No, and I was going to say, like, and and the way today's society is so much different than it was before, as far as we're talking about traditional roles. Just to give you an example, I mean, just my grandparents, just like, okay, as we now today, like, back when they were coming up, there was factory jobs. They needed a man strong back to make money back then. And nowadays, all the factory jobs are outsourced. And United States is more of a, it's a computerized country. You know what I'm saying? It's more of, it's not really heavy manual labor based like it used to be. And, so you can make paper without having to do that type of thing. And also another thing that happened was with the computer age. Like I said, I had a computer shop for some time, is that, when Google and everything came out, like, listen, it took me years to acquire the knowledge that I did when I was doing computers. You know what I'm saying? I had to sit up there. I had to make mistakes. I had to actually learn through trial and error on how to actually fix a machine. It took me a long time of just, and I learned it on my own. So I sat up there and I actually I had to learn this stuff, and it took me years to perfect my craft. Now with Google that came out and YouTube, now you can actually go on there and you can learn like how to reboot your computer. That used to be my bread and butter, reinstalling Windows.
Yeah.
And now you can go on Google and it'll just show you, and it's already built into most computers that you can just press F11 and you can do a Windows recovery. You see what I'm saying? So now, as a traditional man, that when people needed me, now the relationship is not so interdependent anymore. And now you can go on Google and figure out things that you didn't have to, that back in the day you had to go to a man to figure it out. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Or whoever the perfectionist is, or in that field. So it's a lot, it's a lot more independent for people now with the information of, the internet and Google.
All the railroads is built, man.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot, I feel like there are some guys who, like, they really thrived in that era of physicality, being strong physically. You sit here and, Thomas says, I have some projects at the house, little lady. And you know what? I probably would not shy away. I don't know what it is. But, I imagine, like, back in the early 1900s, like, I would have hated living in that time. Like, that just would have been
Oh, we know you would have.
You would have been one of them. You would have been one of them. Like, why can't I do what the boys are doing? You would have been one of them.
I probably would have just killed myself. I would have been, there were women, they have these, this is one of the many reasons why they were like, all right, we got to do this feminism thing. But there were women who legit was like, nah, this ain't it. And they would have killed
Dang.
themselves. I would rather die than to be in this situation where I'm treated in this manner. So I do believe that traditional roles had a place. Back before the age of technology, before the age of reason and logic, you had like hunter and gatherers, right? It makes sense for a man to be the one to go out there and do things physical. Sophia, to get
Right.
the
The
food and to
color
fight the
purple stuff.
lions. Oh yeah. I mean, that it made sense, right? Because you need to survive.
Yeah.
It made sense. All right, if you're out here fighting the lions, which you might die from, fighting a bear to get meat, which you
Oh,
might
you don't
die
want to do
from,
that.
it makes more sense for me to go in here. I mean, this before reason and logic, it's just basically survival. So it made more sense because if you kill all the women, you kill society. A couple men, we can still have one dude can keep society going, but you kill a lot of their women, you're done. So you got to protect the women. You can't have them out here fighting bears. And I'm sure there were some chicks who wanted to fight bears, but logically at the time it didn't make sense. Now we're in an area where, as a man, is it nice that you can change a tire? Yeah, cool. But you don't even really have to change a tire. All you got to do is call somebody and have someone fix your tire.
And you know what? To that same point, because I hear men say it, it's the same thing with a lot of the traditional female stuff. Like, I don't need you to cook for me. I can go order you, give me. I don't need you to clean my house anymore. I can get somebody. To your point, a lot of these things, even getting a tire change for you on the other side, or getting your oil changed, or getting someone to power wash your house, or cut your grass, or whatever. We can pay for these things these days. They're not. You used to have a man come to the house to cut your grass. Like for real, you had to know somebody. These days, to your point, like not the same. Your tire goes flat on the side of the road. You used to have that one person that you got to be able to call. Well, these days, I mean, your own insurance. All you got to do is have basic car insurance, and they'll come out there and swap you right out. So I kind of get what you're saying about today's times has kind of wiped out some of those traditional roles and needs.
Right, and you know what? I'll go ahead. And you know what? That's the reason. That's the reason why I learned how to cook, because just checking out my dad when we got when I was younger, like when he married my stepmother, she was a very good cook. He married her actually because of her cooking. And when they had their issues, right, when they broke up, he started dating this hood rat chick, right? And the hood rat chick would not cook for him. You know what I'm saying? So he was just stuck there. He was asking because like my hold on, why ain't y'all on this thing? Hold on. Trying to get y'all on.
You talking?
Oh, because you're talking. Man. When you talk, it focuses on.
No, mine's is manual. I do mine.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. That Google shit. It's like, no, I'm just messing with you. but no. But so when he like my stepmother used to like give him breakfast in bed. She would bring his food to him and everything. She was a very good cook. So when we started messing with the hood rat, she ain't like, he would be like, hey baby, make me a plate. Fix it yourself. Dude, slam the door. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you know what? I'm never gonna rely on a female to have to cook for me because my dad couldn't cook. So every female, if she made a good dish, like I told you before in earlier episodes, I'm still in your recipe, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna rely on you to make me a good meal. So that's kind of how what inspired me to learn how to cook, because I always wanted to be able to make a good, satisfying meal for myself, and I didn't want to depend on a female to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of, and it's kind of a reverse thing where how females might do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So they don't need a man, to satisfy, certain things. Yeah.
So with you being in the house and with you being a good cook, so you do the majority of the cooking then?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do the majority of the cooking. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she's more healthier based than me. Like she eats healthier than I do. I'm actually about to start my redo because I eat all the all that stuff, all the fried chicken, barbecue, what I'm saying, oxtails, all that, what I'm saying. I know how to make all that, but I'm about to get back into my regimen to where I'm eating health. She's more of a healthier, conscious person, so she's going to be preparing my my health stuff.
Your health
what I'm
meal.
saying. So yeah, so what I'm saying, but yeah.
So let me ask you along those lines then, Chuck. Has there ever been a situation, or how would you feel if your lady came to you and mentioned something to the effect of like, you haven't made dinner yet? What's for dinner?
Whoa.
It's okay when men say it, but when women say
No,
it, that's
Is
crazy.
that a comment? Like, how does she ever approach you related to dinner? Like, what's for dinner tonight? Like, can you talk more about like how those things maybe make you feel in that sense?
No, she like for one, my wife don't even talk like that. So you know what I'm saying, she already know. I like when it's my turn, when it's time for me to get busy, I cook. You know what I'm saying? I make sure that it's ready. I mean, that's just something natural. It's not nothing that you gotta like tell me to do. I'm gonna do it anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because I know, like how she likes it, and she has like a gluten thing, so I gotta make her stuff gluten free. So I gotta prepare her stuff actually specially made, so it doesn't, upset her or whatever the case may be. So that's a natural thing for me anyway. So she don't even have to come at me like that, dog.
Chuck, you be putting your hands on females, don't you?
Chuck does.
Chuck be putting his hands on women.
What you talking about? What you mean?
Like, it's not even an option.
First of all, she would never say that to me. First of all,
hey, look, it's a respect thing. I would
no.
He did say his pimp.
I'm just saying, it's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? So she gonna come. She ain't gonna come to me sideways. You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
that's just not how we do things.
The reason that I bring that up, so when I was married long ago, my ex-wife, my wife at the time is a hairstylist, a cosmetologist. So she keeps really odd hours. Sometimes, and we had it set up to where we set the basement up to be like a salon. So she was in the basement, but she would often work until 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Sometimes it would be late. So just in the mindset of like, it all has to be done and somebody got to do it. Once her business started to pick up, I would do a lot more of the household stuff, including the cooking. And what happened was we got into a big knockdown, drag out argument because, again, I was helping the cooking or whatever the case, but there was one day in particular that she came upstairs from the basement after working a long day down there, and she uttered the phrase, and she was saying it plainly, but she uttered the phrase, "Why don't I smell nothing cooking?" And that junk just set me off, bro. Because that's not my job. I do that, but that's not my responsibility. I'm doing your job. What you need to be doing is coming up here and thanking us. So it was a whole thing because it was the comment. It was like, I didn't mind helping and cooking where needed, but the moment it was made to sound like my role, my responsibility that I was responsible for some reason, I kind of fell into the traditional of like, this ain't even my thing. I'm doing you a favor type of thing. So that's what made me ask in the first place.
I mean, guys say that to women, you don't go ahead.
No, I'm saying the thing is, like, I mean, if you're doing something that you already like doing, then it's not even like a thing to where, you know what I'm saying, like where, this ain't what I'm supposed to do. Like, I enjoy cooking, so it don't matter. Like, she ain't, but like I said, yeah, she can't be coming at you sideways, that you got to do it and all that. No, then that's when I'm gonna be like, you know what, you don't appreciate me, so you gonna cook your own shit. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get, but no, but it has to be done with respect.
For sure.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, guys do that to women. That's why they lose their shit as well. So it's kind of like
what's for dinner tonight?
My mind blows me. Yeah, what you cooking? Like, I don't feel like can't you cook? I've already done. Like, it's just a rude and disrespectful thing to say, no matter who you are, no matter what gender, because even if that is her role, she's doing that out of love. Like, she's doing that because she genuinely loves you and she respects you. So, how men talk about we want respect, that's a form of respect to a woman as well. Recognize that, hey, she's doing this, even though I know she don't want to do this, even though she could be out here in these streets hoeing, she's doing this because she loves me. So let me be a little nicer.
Right, you hear that?
Hey, I don't know where people's head is at. Okay. She could poison you. Is that better? She could poison your food, but she doesn't poison your food because she loves who you are.
Damn, Champagne, you got demons. You just told she could be
when they tired. They're tired of all this treatment. They are just tired of it. You know, it's a new day. But I love your guys' take on it, because I have spoken to men where I've made a comment like, "Uh-oh, you about to be in there cooking," and like you would have thought I called their mother a whore, the way they were just like just so disgusted. Like any type of commentary where they might be doing something that's deemed as woman's work, it was just like the most disrespect. And when you see that, when you see that that's a traditional role, that you look down on it so much like that, why do you think I would be so happy to do such a thing if you think it looks, it's horrible? That's like if I go ahead.
Isn't that the same thing on the other way around? Like if I was like, girl, you gonna be pumping some gas. Oh, that's what's up. Like you would be looking at me like, pumping gas, nigga. That's your job. So I think anything directed that we kind of view as a traditional opposite role, I can see that happening even on both sides. Like, I mean, if I'm like, well, shit, you about to be, if you weren't the type of person who liked to fix things, and I said you were going to be the person putting together our TV stand and fix, because, oh, yeah, I'm not good with tools, so hope you like putting dressers together. You'll be like, what kind of man are you? Like,
I look at it like as in she's deficient in those skills, not as in she feels like it's a beneath her. She feels like I'm not qualified to do that. But like cooking, cleaning, and fixing, folding clothes, everybody's qualified to do that.
For sure. But what happens, again, all those roles, they got to get done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's ever good at whatever should do whatever. But what happens when we both bad at it? We're both bad at cooking. Who should do it?
That's what it comes down to. This has stood the test of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. This has solved. If they did this back during so many wars, we probably wouldn't have went to war.
So you meet a man, y'all decide y'all in a relationship. You don't cook and he don't cook. You don't feel it falls more on you to learn how to prepare meals for you two?
Why do you feel like it falls more on me?
Because you're the
woman.
Learn
how to prepare for both of us. So like women are born naturally cooks? Is that what's the? I always was curious. Like what is the correlation with that?
Well, because it's
naturally on my shoulder.
Yeah, because traditionally that's where that role falls. For example, if both of y'all were sitting on both of y'all were up and y'all didn't have any money, and it was you and your man, and y'all was broke, we would all look at him like, nigga, you need to do something.
I might not be the best one to talk about this because I'm a woman who holds like 4, 5, 6 different jobs because I get it done. So if we're in that situation where we don't have money, I know I'm going to be working. My expectation is that he should be working as well.
But society is going to look at, if y'all fall broke, society will look at him to do it. Just like if y'all are eating ramen noodles, sitting at the table together, society gonna look at her like she can't cook, she ain't cooking for that man. That's why I ask, because it's traditionally certain things fall under certain umbrellas.
Society will, but just because that was a point of view at one point doesn't necessarily mean that has to be the view all the time. Like there was a time where as a Black person, you saw a white person, you have to go and open that door for that person. Just because of their skin and tone. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. They're just better than you because of skin tone. Like we can evolve. I get that society sees that, but to me, if we both are at a situation, either A, we're going to pay for somebody to take care of it because it is 2024 5, so we do have that opportunity to do that, or that's when the 50-50 route comes in. Hey, I'll cook on these days, you cook on this day. Boom, you cook on my best friend Jay, her and her husband. Her husband is actually, I'm so surprised of all these men cooks. Like when I was younger, you guys were never around, but I know, I noticed that the men who are really good cooks, they were more raised by their moms. Like their moms had they're not you. Oh, you wasn't more raised by your mom.
You know why he learned.
No.
From his dad. Yeah, good. So
yeah, my step, yeah, because he had a woman that couldn't cook, that wasn't going to cook for him. That's why I learned how to cook. You know what I'm saying? So it had nothing to do with me staying with my. Yeah, it had nothing to do with me staying with my mother at all.
Okay. you're my one. But all the other guys, I like Bernie, the two Bernies that I know, both of them were raised by women. The guy I know, Drew, he was, majority raised by a woman. So the guys I know who cooked, they were raised by single moms. So I didn't really see it too much. But yeah, it again, that's not the average for everyone. But the point I'm making is today's time, you could do 50-50, especially with men knowing how to cook more. You could do 50-50. And if you both don't know how to cook, you got to eat too, nigga. Like, he has to eat. It's in y'all's best interest to learn how to do these things for the house. Traditional roles are great if you are in that traditional time frame and a traditional frame of mind. But today, everything needs to be done by everybody, like you said, Dante. So it's your best bet to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, and it really is about what you're good at. I remember when I was married, my ex-wife, if we needed to make a call to a business, it was going to be me. If there was an issue with, so for example, we needed one time to, the bank charged me an overdraft fee. And it was like, okay, call the bank and see if they can reverse the overdraft. Because we put the money right back in. And I remember my ex-wife, she was timid to do things like that. So it was like, oh, well, I'll call them. Because for me, it was easy. I don't mind talking. So, hey, you know what? I'll do all the talking stuff. This is great. It lines right up to what I'm good at. Hey, good evening. Yes, can I give you my account number? Fantastic. How are you doing today? Fine weather we're having, isn't it? Let me ask you something about that fee. So I was it's one of those things where, like, it's not a traditional role. Who's going to call to talk to the bank about this fee is not more man, more woman. It fell into who's better at it between the two of us, and it was like, I'll take it. But that eagerness of I'll take it has to be there. And I want to say one thing to the fellas, because I know we're running short on minutes here. Fellas, because I hear this thing a lot in the households with my sisters. My sisters out here talking about how y'all don't like to help around the house. I hear that junk a ton, and I know it. I get it. I've lived it. I've had arguments about it. So I'm here to tell you, fellas, some slight ways around that. Find more to do. Yeah, give me some more. Find more to do, fellas. Take your woman's car on Sundays up to the gas station and fill her gas tank up. Wash her car every Saturday, every other Saturday. Make sure you're out there cutting that grass. Make sure you're taking your children to their appointments and the places they need to be. Free that woman up so she can clean that house, dog. Don't tell her that way. But do more other stuff and leave her home alone. And I promise you, when you come home, the house will be clean, fam.
I mean, that is true.
Do more outside. Do more outside, bro. I'm good otherwise.
Go ahead, Chuck. We're coming towards an end, man.
Yeah. Like I said, these are different times. And a lot of times, people were just raised, for survival. Like I said, I learned my survival skills by actually living with my mom because, she, like I said, it was 3 children living there over my dad's house. I was kind of back and forth. My dad, it was just me over there. So, they had, both of them made more than my mom did. So I learned how to survive with my mom. So I learned those skills and like I said, it's not a traditional, there's traditional roles it's just different times, man. So whatever skill set that you have, just bring that to the table and you guys just have to work it out, man. If y'all both aren't proficient in things, then y'all just got to figure it out together. That's how relationships evolve. You know what I'm saying? You just get better and you tackle different assignments as a team together. You struggle together and you get to your common goal. And that's why I think that a lot of relationships are lost in these days. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, when you stop winning or things aren't going as they should, and people run away from the relationship and people live in 2 different lives in the same household. Whereas you both should be able to live the same lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on it. What do you guys have, final takes or whatever before we get out of here?
Yeah, ladies, be reasonable. Share. I know sometimes it feels relationships aren't exactly 50-50 all the time. Some weeks you might be doing 80% of the work. Some week he might be doing 80% of the work. Like, remember why you're there and share the work, man. It's right.
What you got, Dante?
Agreed. What she said. I don't have much to add. Everything got to get done. So do what it is that you're best at, and the things that you're not, communicate on them, speak about them, or split them. I'll do it half the time, you do it half the time. For my fellas, we need to do more outside of the house. Grass cutting. If her car needs an oil change, you should be taking it. Gas, you should be filling it up. Grass cut, all of that good stuff, man. Let's do more outside of the house to make sure that we're helping out. Because that's a constant. Is that the fellas aren't helping out around the house.
Nice. Okay, that's our time, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, join us also for the Love and Pain show on Mondays, and back here every Thursday, same place, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Please, again, like and subscribe to the YouTube. We gonna make it pop this year. Okay, so we'll see y'all next week. And until then, peace.
Peace.